I missed to update. Okay, so basically I missed to start recording, so I will just quickly repeat it. Okay, so higher order component is a component which takes one component, and then on top of that it can render it based upon its like additional property as well as additional event handler. So this is one example of higher order component where print hello is a higher order component, and it is taking compose component as an parameter, and then on top of the composed, so you see it is just rendering the composed component with some additional parameters. So this is this dot props. So basically what it will be done, like whatever parameter print hello get, it will come here, and then on click this on click, right? So basically this on click method of print hello will be called whenever someone clicks on this component. So this is how we use. So this is one of the higher order component. So next one is nesting component, means you can nest one component within another component. So for that, like what you have to do is there are like several ways to do it, like I will discuss. So first one is like common nesting, means you have two components, comment list and comment form, and then you have another component box which contains two components. One is comment form and one is comment list. Okay, so that means like comment box is formed of two existing component. So that's why it's called as nesting, means one component within another component. Okay, next one is nesting can be done like multiple ways. One is like without using any children, means it's a plain vanilla nesting, means one component is having another component. Another nesting can be done, one component can have another component as a children. So if you see this example, comment list, and within comment list we have list title and comment list, and then comment form. So basically, like here, if you see, there are three components involved. One is comment list, and within comment list there is another component called list title, and then we have comment form. So this is nesting where three components are involved, and one of the component is child of any existing component. Okay, so this is how we do. The third one is nesting we are using prop. So in prop, what will happen? You will pass a property, and that property will be any existing component. So for example, this one list title is a existing component, and then we are passing it as a property to title. Means in title property we are passing list title, and then list comment list can use this property to render the object, render itself. Okay, so next one is props, means property. So I think last time also we briefly discussed about property, right? So I guess like we did in one example where we were showing the like some values, like incrementing whenever someone click it, the values were getting incremented, something like that we did, right? So it started with 1 and 2 3 4 like that, right? And here also like we have this property, right? So title is a property. So what happens is like in this dot props you will get all the property whichever is used, right? So for example, this component, my component, you have user id is equal to 1 to 3, right? That means like the user id value will be set to 1 to 3, and that value you can show it somewhere. So like for example, you are showing, if you want to show it, you have to use this dot props dot user id. So whatever value is set here while declaring the component will come, and it will be replaced here. Okay, so basically if you are passing 1 to 3, then it will show the user's id is 1 to 3. Okay, so props can be defined at the bottom of the component. So basically you can define the the property type, right? So whatever property you are going to use, you can declare them. You can declare, okay, so this user id will be is required and it's a number, whereas some object is a normal object, and then title will be string. So this is where we define the type of the property. So this we should do it at the bottom of our component. Okay, and then we can have a default values as well. So default value help, like if we don't have the value provided by the user while using the component, then in that case, so these values will be used. Okay, and sometimes we want to do some checks, right? So if someone didn't pass, then and you don't have default values, then your application might throw exception, right? So to avoid that, always set some default properties, is some default value to the all the properties which you are going to use. Okay, so next one is some example. Yeah, so that's what I was mentioning, right? So if you
I
don't
have
define
here.
some object.
I have a question here.
Mm-hmm.
As what I have understood, like in this is implementing JavaScript basically, right? This is JavaScript all. So if
Mm-hmm.
we don't define a particular variable, so it will be undefined by default or what? Like
Yeah, it will be undefined. So see, if you see this slide, so if there is one example, if this dot props dot some object dot some key you're checking, right? And
hmm.
then some object you haven't, someone hasn't passed, right? So it will be undefined, and this code will throw error. So that's
Okay,
why it's always advisable to declare a default value, so that like in your code you can easily do this kind of checks.
sure.
Understand?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So the next point is state. So state is what? So basically in our component, we can maintain our internal state. And for so property and state, there are two things. First, you have to understand like the difference. Property is used when we want to pass some value to a component. Okay. So prop is used when we want to pass some value to the component. Means when we are declaring that component, we can pass this properties, right? Like in this example we had, we are passing the value user ID 123, right? And um, what is then state? So state is the internal state. Let's say like your component is dynamic, right? And it is changing. Someone is entering something or doing clicking something, or any kind of things is done, like some user interaction is done, or based upon time something is happening, right? So then your state will change. So whatever is the initial value, whatever is set in your object will change, right? So in that case you need to maintain the state of the component. So for that we have a state object. Okay, so state is basically represented as a JavaScript and has component level scope. Means for whatever component you are defining the state, it will be declared for only that particular component. It will be usable only in that component. You cannot use one state to another component, right? So if you declare a state for one component, that state cannot be used in another component. Okay, but if you want to pass the values from one component to another component, what you will use? You will use properties. Okay, and another thing is like whatever property you are getting, you don't need to save in state, because property is basically what it's a it's not dynamic, right? Whatever properties is set initially, right, that's the one which you will use. So it's not recommended to save your properties, your props in state. Okay, okay, so here it is saying, right, it is the responsibility of this component to store the data within its state and distribute the data to other components via properties. Means whatever data is required for your component, you will store it in state, and whatever data is required for another component, and if you want to pass those data to another component, then you will use props. Okay, so let's take some examples. So this is one example, right? So here we are stating greeting, hi, hiya, buddy. Okay, so this is the initial state. So basically, whenever you want to set an initial state, you have to set it in the constructor. Okay, in the constructor of your React component, you will set the state, and then same state you can use in your while you're rendering. So let's say, for example, this one, right? Div this dot state dot creative. So what it will be replaced with? It will be replaced with higher body. Clear? Okay. So now, like let's say, like on some user event, you want to set the state, right? So initially you want to set the state, then you will do it in constructor. Now, if you want to do that state thing on some user event, in that case, you will use the set state method. So what set state method provide is you can just so here is, if you see, this dot state is equal to greeting hello. So this is the initial state which you are setting in constructor, right? And then whenever user click, then you want to change it, right? So you can click, you can do it using this dot set state and then greetings colon hello world, right? So what will happen whenever someone click, greeting value will change from hello to hello world, and then same values will be displayed here, right? So your component is returning this div where you are rendering this dot state dot greeting, okay? And then click button is there, right? So whenever someone click on this button, initially it will show as hello, and then finally it will show as hello world. Okay, am I clear? Any
Mm.
questions so far?
No, as such. I think I'm good, but not know what others.
Okay, cool. So the next one is using set state with a function as updater. So basically what we have to do is, let's say like we want to know the previous state before setting the new state. I think this example we did last time, right? So in that case, we have to use previous state. Okay. So the function will have two parameters. One is previous state, second one is current state. And then we have we are setting counter, previous state plus counter is equal to plus one, right? So basically we are just updating the counter. So whenever this code will be called, whatever was the previous counter, it will be incremented by one. Okay. So this is how we do the update when we want to use the previous state and then set the new state. And if we want to just set the state directly, we can just call the set state method like this. Okay. So you can see the difference here, like we just set the state directly, whereas here we set the state based upon the previous state. Okay. Any question on this?
I think it's not pretty clear. Like, why basically like in set state we define with like when we have to set the previous state or does some operation with previous state. Why specifically this? Like, we can simply do that operation in the this dot state as well.
So here we are kind of doing some manipulation, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this function, when this dot set state will be called, okay. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever the value, basically whenever you call this set state method, right? So what will happen? Your previous state, whatever was there, right? That object you will get, and based upon that object you can do some calculations. So this is just simple calculation, right? Just counter previous state and then counter plus one, but you can have multiple objects, right? Within previous state you can have multiple properties, multiple things, right? And those properties, you want all the data like to be present here, and then based upon that, like you can do some manipulation, some calculations, and then finally set the state. So your
Okay.
previous state will be same as what it was before this set method was called, right?
So
It will not change. It will not
sorry
change.
to
Let's say
interrupt.
like you have like multiple things on your page, right? So while this, if you directly do it in this one, right? So let's say like multiple things are coming. So this is set state. It could be like based upon some server event, right? So you are subscribed to some server, and from server some data is coming, right? So on TCP port or something, right? And then based upon that you are setting the state. Let's say like you are working on some state, and then another data come, right? So in that case, like there will be like some kind of mismatch, right? So what will happen? This will give you the snapshot of what is the current state. Based on that you can do it, instead of like getting all the values one by one, right? If you get one by one, it might occur that there could be some concurrency issues.
So here my question is, uh, do we get this previous state variable or what will the state variable
Mhm.
as a variable by default, or we are passing something into this?
No, no, this is like internally maintained by React, and it will be automatically coming from React. You are not
Okay.
going to pass this previous state.
So this previous state, like it's kind of a static variable of React, which
React.
is automatically getting updated when there is a change in the current state.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Mhm.
I think, yeah. So from a theory perspective, I had only this much today. Okay. So now, like, what I want to do is, you guys can do some lab. Okay. And what we decided last time, right? We decided to build this one. Let me share my screen. You can see my screen, right? Can I hold?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we wanted to build something like this, right? So I will let you guys to do some exercise. Okay. Try to replicate the home page, and then also try to do some kind of whatever we learned today, right? Whatever we learned today, like try to apply, try to build some component, some nested component, and see like right. So do some practice, and if you have any question, like just let me know. Okay, so try to build this web page. Okay, it might take some time, right? So it's okay. Take your time. So whoever doesn't know Git, please follow me. Okay. So basically, what you have to do is, for using Git, you need to install one software called as Tortoise Git. Okay, so you can get it here. Okay, let me get here. It's already mentioned. So all the details about this training is here, right, in our GitHub. So if you go here, you will see a link for installing Tortoise Git. Okay, so here if you go, just open this link, and then you can install based upon which version of Windows you are using, or if you are using some other OS, then you can search for that OS. Everything will be in the download only. It will automatically show based upon your machine. And then I'm using 64, so just download this Git. Okay, and it's already here, I guess, in my software. Okay, so it's downloading, and then just install Git. Okay, and using this setup you can install. I already have, so I'm not going to install Git. And then you have to go to your folder wherever you want to get the code from Git. Okay, and then right click and click Git clone. Okay, and then you have to paste the link. So the URL for our repository, if you go here, right, so here there, when for any Git project actually, so if you go to GitHub, there is something called clone or download. Just click on that, and then it will show you the link which you have to use for downloading this project. Okay, so this is the link. So I'm just copying this link here. Just copy, Okay, and then here you just paste it URL. Okay, and rest of the thing is okay, right? If you want to choose some other directory, just select the directory name and then click on OK. And then whatever code is in our GitHub repository will come to your desktop. Okay, so now like it's here, and then you can see all the documents, everything is mentioned here, right? So you can try to do it on your machine, and then you will get all the PPTs, you will get all the lab exercises which we are doing. Let's say like we want to do for day 8, right? So day 8 we did some exercise already. So same exercise you can try it on your machine. How you try is just select the folder name and then open Visual Studio Code. Then click on File, open folder, and then choose the folder name, select folder, and here it is. Now you can run this. So for running, what you have to do is terminal, new terminal, and just type in npm install. First is npm install. This is one-time activity which you have to do because the libraries which we are using, that we are not putting in Git. It should come from npm. Means you get package manager. So install it. It may take around 5 minutes. Okay, so now you can see, right? All the packages has been installed, and when I type npm start, it should open our application. Let's see. So it's currently building, and then it will start. So first time when it build, it takes some time. Okay, so it's built now. You can see, right, compiled with warning. There's some one warning, like some of the variables are not used, but that's okay. We can ignore that one for now. Okay, so this is our application. Okay, I can give some example like how to do it, right? So this is one component. You can see, right? This is one component, and then the same component is here. It's just like the image is different. You can see, right? So in this particular component, when you build, so there are three parts. One part is image on the left side. Second part is whatever is the text here, right? So take Kahoot at school, Kahoot at work, and Kahoot at home. So only this text is changing, right? So this can be a property. An image URL can be one property. And the third one is a link. And this link will be also a property. See, this link is going to Kahoot schools. This one is going to slash businesses. And this one is going to home, family friends, right? So basically, for this component, let's try to build only this component. Okay, so first try to build this component where we have three properties. One is image URL, second one is text, and third one is URL for link, right? So three properties will be there. So try to build this component first, and then on the same page you have to display three components, right? So for one you have to give some other image, for another image, like that, and the text will be different and link will be different, right? So just try to build this component first, okay? And whoever is ready with this component, just like let me know. Okay, and another thing I wanted to tell is that, let's say like you are on your uh, Git project. Okay, so this is your Git project root. Okay, and someone has made any changes, because I will be adding lot of labs, right? 6, 8, 10. Today's will be 8, 10, right? So what you have to do is, instead of like just taking it once you like have a Git folder in your machine, every day or whenever you are checking that, make a habit of taking a Git pull. Right. So what you have to go to Tota's Git and then click on pull. So what it will do is, whatever is the latest on the server, it will bring it to your machine. Okay. So let's say, for example, this folder, I don't have the latest. So if I click Git pull, it will bring everything on my machine. Okay. So you can see like these many files will change and everything will be downloaded to your machine. So basically,
Actually, we cannot see your screen. Yes, better.
yeah. So basically, what you have to do is just right click and Git pull. Dot as Git and Git pull. You can see, right? The menu.
Yes.
Okay, good. So basically, this is needed to get the latest version of all the files or any new files from the server. Okay.
Screen now.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
And this is what I have done as of now.
Okay.
And what I was doing is I've tried to create a header component,
Mm-hmm.
and this all thing which we have done earlier. I do not need all these as of now. I do not need the component constructor property even. So I have to remove this. Okay, this is the component which I am calling in app.js,
Okay.
and
So
the
header
structure is
component. Okay. So this is header component, and header component. You don't have properties, right? So
no, I do not.
can you pass some
And
properties?
yes, definitely,
Yeah,
I can
just
create a
pass some
constructor.
whatever you're putting it in this one, right? So just pass
Mm.
the properties. You can take the example, right? We have some example there, right? On
Mhm.
our last class.
So, and what I do is app.js, I do person property name, a reference, um, name is equals to link, anything. Let's say I'm personal address.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
anything you can put.
Okay. So
And you have to
here,
pass three properties, right? One is this one. Second one is URL, right?
Okay.
So there's a URL, and third one was image. So just pass three properties, and then we will fix there, right? So property, yeah, anything .com. That's it. Okay, and then third one
Is
was
image.
image URL. Okay,
Image URL. It is in my local. So can I pass it in like images as well? Then picture.jpg.
yeah, that's possible.
So here I'm passing these three components, and I want to place these in this
Yeah,
particular
just change
section.
it, right? The section will be
No, actually, I will pass this component, complete this from here.
yeah.
That
So
is,
basically, you have to use just yeah. You
I
can
will
change it,
pa-
right?
I will pass like this whole
Correct,
down with,
correct. That's okay.
and this is component content.
Content, right?
So
And then go
I'm
back here.
calling
Yeah, and
this
change it to.
this dot props
It will be
dot
under curly
content. Yeah,
braces.
yeah. This is props dot content, and here I'll be having this dot URL. But no, this is actually a href is equals to no, this dot URL and underneath this, and then we have this section, and lastly, if I say section this dot props dot URL, and lastly I am having section a, sorry, this dot props dot image.
That's the only URL. So basically, we have to put the URL, right? So let me ping you. You can use
Uh-huh.
that one example. Just a second.
Section that is again inside the imgsrc. Imgsrc is equals to this.
Yeah, I just pinged. You can use that one.
Okay.
You have to put require as well. Right. Yeah.
I just want to see. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll use that one. But first, let me correct this.
Yeah, just put require. You have put correct. Actually, you have to just put require, and then inside require, you have to put this value.
Require. Okay.
Just check like the one I pinged you on group chat, Zoom group chat.
Zoom chat. Here I am. Oh, just my screen only.
So basically,
So
what you have to do is go to the top. There will be one bar on the top bar. There will be three buttons. Dot dot dot. Right.
okay, okay, okay,
And then
okay.
click that, and then click on chat.
Got it, got it. Okay, so here I have to use require. Got it. So this is how this dot props dot image. Why it is giving it as an error?
Mm.
Unexpected keyword this.
Yeah, it's actually nested, right? So that's why
I
it might be giving problem. Just a second. Just a second. Let me send you something.
this done.
Yeah. So now it should work.
Let me see. Okay.
I think it went to next line. That's why. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. All good now, I guess.
And let me see. No. Yeah.
Great. So you can see that like all the three things are coming, but not in the exact format. But that
Yeah.
was not our point, right? Our point was to create a component which can do this, right? Now we have to create a nested component which will have three of such component, right?
Okay.
And then that component will basically uh, will have. So basically, if you go back to kahoot.com, go back.
Okay.
Yeah, go to kahoot.com. I'm not pronouncing it correctly. I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, so here, if you see, there are three tabs, right? 1, 2, 3. So this
Three segments.
entire three put together is one component, right?
Okay.
So now we have to create a one component which will combine these three, right? So it's a nested component, right? That's what we learned today. So let's try to build it. You can try it yourself, or if you want any help, let me know.
Nested component, that means we have to create one component and bring all these components into that particular component and
Right.
pass different properties to these components.
Correct. So now, like in the nested, so right now we are passing to individually each component, right? Now what will happen in the nested component? We will have a top level component, and there we will pass the values, and that should flow down to the children. Understood? Like so now that there will be like total 9 properties in the component, right? So the first property will be like content 1, URL 1, image 1, and then content 2, URL 2, image, something like that, right?
So can't we do this in the app.js as of now? Like
Yeah, you
I
can
can
do it. Yeah, you can
I
do it
can
here
have
as
three
well.
header components with different
Yeah.
URLs.
So this is also a nested component. Now app.js is a component which is having 3 different components. Can you change the values as well as per Kahoot.com? Yeah, just change the values so that we can see it properly.
Work and code at home.
Work, home, and then change the image as well.
I do not have image URLs of this. Actually, I cannot access this.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's the problem. Let me ping you the URL immediately. Yeah, just a second. Copy image, and then I can paste it here. Second one I did for work, and third one I am giving you.
Work.
Yeah, all 3 I gave.
Sure.
Work. Oh, you did wrong actually. Control Z. Control Z. Yeah. See, you pasted the entire. Okay. Yeah, paste it. And then the third one. Third one also I pin at home. Can you also increase your font size?
Okay. Font size of my screen.
Yes.
Okay. View properties. I think command. There it is.
So you have to go to File, and then click on Preferences, and then Settings.
Okay, settings, and then
Text editor font, and then font size make it 24 or something like that.
File, set preferences,
Settings. Yeah.
Click on settings, and then here user settings. Okay, editor font size. Editor font size is
Text editor. Yeah.
20.
Or just type. Make it 24. Make it 24. 24.
It is not editing actually. I cannot
I don't
change it.
know. So maybe like your application is running. That's why. Can you stop your application? It is working for me actually. I don't know what's the problem. So you went to file, preferences, and then settings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Editor.
Editors.
Yeah. Why it is
And
coming in this format? For me, it is a different format actually. I can go and edit. No problem. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it for now.
okay.
Yeah. Uh, so, hmm, okay.
And let me start this server again.
Yeah. Which tool you are using? Visual Studio Code only, right?
Yes.
I don't know why it's not coming. Which version you are using?
This is 1.7.
1.34, 1.4. Okay.
1.17.
1.17. I'm using which one? 1.39. Yeah, you should install the latest version.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Or
I'll
just check like how it is done. Maybe you can try it again while it is running. Yeah, try it again. No, 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 don't restart. Don't restart now. Just go to
okay.
File, Preferences. It is giving
Mm-hmm.
option to, then it should give option to change as well. Settings, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then go and type there. Just place,
Uh,
okay, okay, it is saying right. Just go there and then on the right side, place your settings here to
okay.
override default setting. Yeah, so you have to, yeah, see there is a this one. No, no, there is one this. If you see, there is a pen button on the left side. On the
Mm-hmm.
same line, see the pen button is coming. Yeah, just click on edit. Yeah, yeah, now it will edit.
I tried it earlier, but still I
Just click
cannot.
on edit again, and you have to drag it to on the right side. Drag it to right side. No, not working. Place your setting here to override the default setting. I don't know what is the problem.
I believe I have to write editor
Dot
dot font
size.
size is
Yeah, it's
equals
working.
to
24.
24.
And then what? How to save it?
Yeah, it is.
Ah, it is done. Wow, cool. So now it's more visible, right? Everyone can
Mm.
see what you are doing. Okay. All right. So, so the our nested component is done. Is it working? Can you try?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. See, now we have three components, right? Which
Mm.
is
Kahoot at work,
okay.
Kahoot
Can
at
you
school.
fit everything in a span and then it will come horizontally?
Yeah, sure.
So just before the section, not here, not here, not here, not here. In the app.js file,
Okay.
yeah, here header you are putting, right. So just before header component,
Just before header,
no,
I
just before
think,
header component,
yeah, exactly. That's what
uh, just put it in span.
span,
Yeah,
and then I'll bind up with the span at end. And similarly, this.
while it should fix the problem, but I'm not sure. Generally, we use HTML table, right? So HTML table, you can do whatever you want. That is more easy to handle the formatting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But in case for these, we use div in place of HTML tables. That will also be like quite comfortable if we have proper CSS implemented for that.
Oh, right. But if you want to put anything like horizontally instead of vertically, in that case, div will not work because div will take the entire space, right? It's not working. Okay, no problem. We can check that later. But the format is as such like that's a HTML thing, right? So right now, let's focus on the
Mhm.
components, right? So anyone has any question? So everyone follow through like how we are doing the nested component, how the properties are working. Can you like close down all the other stuff and just show the code?
Okay.
Close down all the other windows.
All the other
I
windows,
mean
I
like the bottom part. Can you
okay.
make it small or just close? Yeah, yeah. Now we can see it, right? So this is our header component, and then same header component we are using in our app component. So go to app component.
App component. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, and here we are nesting it, right? And then we are also using the property. So whatever we are setting in content, URL, and image, those are used in our header component. Right? So go back
Yes,
to header
exactly.
component. Here it is. Cool. So everyone followed or not? Like Piyush, uh, Vinod, Ashish.
Yes,
Raj.
I followed.
Great, great, great. So now you can build a nested component, I believe. Right? Try the same example in your machine, because until unless you do on your machine, like you cannot succeed.
Yes,
It's
that's true.
simple as that, right? So I can do, Rajesh can do, but you have to also try yourself. Okay. So this is done. Okay. Now the next thing we saw was having what we had the state. Okay. So let's say like a simple example. We have three component here now, right? So if someone clicks on, let's say like the content, okay, of these component, then we should show it which exact component was clicked. Let's say for example we have three different header component. So if someone clicks on two, header component 2, the middle one, then it should display 2. If someone clicks on 3, it should display 3. So it's on top of the page, it should display the component which is last clicked, for example. Okay, Rajesh, you followed like what I am trying to say? So go back to app.js file, app.js. Here, just before head the first header, put a span or something like just before it, just after the div actually opened, not here, not here, before that. Yeah, here. Just enter and display here. Selected component is, just type selected component is selected. I can't hear you, Rajesh.
Uh, what you want selected?
Just type selected component is selected
Selected com
component,
component
is,
is
and now here we want to show the number which component is selected. Okay, so what, how
okay.
to use the this one, just like curly braces.
Curly braces. This dot set state dot.
No, not set state, this dot state dot,
Uh-huh.
this dot state dot selected
And
component,
selected
selected component number, or you can say selected component, just right.
selected component.
So now what we have to do, whenever someone clicks on any of the component, it should set the status,
Right.
right? So let's take one more property here in header component. Let's take one more property and name it as number, component number, or component ID.
Count. Okay.
Component ID or component number, anything, or just an
Oh,
ID is also okay.
ID.
Comp ID is equal to 1, similarly 2, 3. Okay. So now we have a component ID here, and then instead, yeah, in constructor the this dot state selected is, let's say by default we are selecting 1.
This dot state.
No, 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 no.
This
Here
this dot.
just the selected component, whatever we are displaying, right? Just copy the same name which you entered in HTML. In JSX you enter, right, some name.
Selected component. Yeah, comp ID. I couldn't get you. Like what exactly you?
Yeah, just type in here What was the ID?
Comp
No,
ID.
no, not comp ID. Go down actually. I forgot the name. Go to app.js.
App.js header component as
Yes. Here we have
and
to have
selected
the
component.
state, right? Because state is of this component, not individual component. Individual component is not maintaining that state.
Right.
The selected component, it's here, right? So the state should be here, not in our header component. So just
Right.
copy paste that thing to here.
Okay, so I have to
Just
create
copy.
like, but
Just
that is a functional component basically, function component. So in function
that's
component,
okay.
will it work?
Just convert it to this one.
Okay, app.js, it should be converted as a class component. Huh?
Correct, correct. Always like try to use class because we are going to use it, right, for several purposes.
App extends react dot component. And then we have a render
Then this will be
here.
render method here.
Render method here. Then we are having a constructor here.
I think extend it's something wrong actually.
Extends react dot component. React. Okay, okay. Now, yeah, bracket we do not
Yeah.
use this. Props. Then this props. And then we have this dot state, and then we will be specifying equals to, and then we have selected component colon right counted.
Yeah, one. Just set the value as one, for example.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So initially, like we are going to display one. Just click it. Like don't code anything else. Just show it on your window how it is coming. So it's coming on the top right. Selected component is one, right? And now when you click on something, go back, go back, go back to browser.
Okay, go back to browser.
Yeah. So let's say like now, if someone clicks on Kahoot at work, then it should change to selected component as two. Right. When someone select Kahoot at home, right? Last one is home. Then it should select component is three. Right. So now you have to implement that.
And we need to change here like this dot props dot
No, here
right?
you cannot change. Here you cannot change. Here you cannot change.
Okay.
Just close this. Close this.
And
Here it should be one only. So
okay, this dot set
basically
state
we have to change where we have to change when someone click, right?
Right.
So go back here. Go back to go down, and this we have header component.
Yeah, in this we have to use on click, right?
On click, correct.
On click is equals to there is a property this dot again this dot but on click.
Just click.
You have to use a method called binder method.
Any method you name you can give. On click app or anything you can give.
On click
com.
Yeah,
that's also correct. That's
right.
Then now create this method.
And we'll do this for all component, right?
Yes, all the components.
And then we'll create a method this this dot on click com, and on click comp.
This dot is not required here. You just remove this dot.
Okay. Function on
See,
click.
see the example. We have the example on page 10.
Page 10.
In our PPT. PPT, did you check the PPT? Just follow the PPT. Okay, it's okay. I will ping you. Okay, I will ping you the example, and then just you can copy paste.
Comp is equals to, we have write this dot.
This is one example of click. How
Set
to use it.
state. This dot set state.
Just take the example which I pinged on chat. Just rename it instead of click to on click comp. That's it. And then set state should be basically
on
selected
click
component.
Okay. And we need to explicitly set state here.
Yeah.
On click component event, right? And this dot set state is equals to, we need to do it something like, and
this is the set state. Instead of greeting, it will be selected component, and the value will be.
And we have here, and the value will be this dot props dot comp ID. Right?
No, this will not work, right? So what we have to do is, so this value, basically, what will happen? This is not good example actually to do it, and there is another example. Just a second.
I do not
basically
need this.
What we have to do is.
Do I need this? I do not need this actually. This dot set state, I can simply set the state like this, right? And yeah, no. No. Okay. Don't expect this dot props. Comp ID is not a props.
Basically, just selected component, put E. That's it.
Selected component E.
Yeah, within curly brace E.
Okay. Okay. So whatever the event we are passing, that is only.
Right. Control S.
Equals to. This need to be equals to or what?
It is correct actually. This is okay.
Okay, now it is.
Okay. Yeah.
But this, the render method is not working properly.
Something is wrong. Go down.
Here, this bracket is with this, and this is for class table, and everything is written outside. Okay. Now I hope so. Yeah.
Now try to click and see if anything is changing.
One, but no.
It's not changing. You change this thing, right? Can you go on click comp? Is it getting called? I think it's not getting called. Go back, go down. here on click.
Okay, there is some problem. No, it's fine. On-click comp is the right component which we are calling, and then we are setting selected component with the event object.
Yeah. So basically now this on click has to be on our header component as well, right? So go to
Uh,
header component.
Header component.
Yeah,
Why in
header.
header comp? Why
Header
in header?
component has to also call this method, right? So here we are just passing, okay, this is the name of the method which we are going to call,
Okay,
right? And then
so
header
so
component will call that method when someone clicks on that label, the
so
label
in
which we
that
have.
case, what you are saying that we should define whatever we have defined here should be defined in header component
No, no, no. Header component will just call that method.
on click comp.
Yeah, yeah. This is correct. Don't remove that.
No, not removing. It's just
Yeah.
copying.
So, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. This dot state is not needed. Not needed.
No.
No need to maintain any state here.
Yeah.
Just remove that and paste it here. Yeah. And then section, these are property dot contain. Put it in some other component. I think section instead of section. Say does section has a on click? I don't think so. Just put a span. The content should be within a span, and then span on click you can put.
Okay, so we can take that on click event out from that particular main app.js.
That is okay. App.js now no need to make any changes. Go back to header component. That is okay. That is needed actually. Okay.
Uh,
Go to
uh,
header component. I will tell you how to do it.
okay, got it.
Okay.
So
And
here,
here, whatever this dot prop dot content you have written, put it inside a span.
okay, span, and then we'll say on click span, right?
Yes. Yes. Now you got it.
On click, uh,
Span.
this will on click is equals to.
Span it is
I'll
equal
do
to, yeah, yeah.
this
This dot
dot. Uh,
this dot props dot on click com.
right.
This dot props dot on click. I think this
This
dot
dot
props dot
props dot
on click.
on click comp.
Not on click comp. On click comp here is not required. That's what I'm saying.
So on click.
So basically what's happening on the main component, we
Okay.
are already passing which method to call, right? So we don't need a method in header component as well.
So this dot props dot what do we call comp ID?
No, 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 just the method name, right?
The method name is
On click.
on click. On
On click.
click.
It's on click,
No,
right?
method name
Whatever
is on
header.
click comp.
So if you go back to app.js, I will show you. Go back
Mm-hmm.
to app.js. So here we are having which property we are setting the this thing, right? It's on click.
Okay.
That's what we have to pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Props dot on
This is case sensitive. Yeah.
click.
Yeah. And this on click comp, this remove is not required. In header component, on click comp is not required.
Right. Slash span.
Yeah, that's it. And just remove this on click comp from header.
Yeah.
In header component, yeah, remove this on click comp. Yes.
And then we'll do the same for all.
Not all. One is enough. Like let's just test on this one, right? This is one part.
So on clicking the first one, will it change?
Yeah, let's see, right? We have to pass the parameter as
Okay.
well,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
right? We have to pass the parameter as well, but something will happen actually. Just see like what is happening.
So root nothing. It is breaking.
Cannot
This
read
dot
property set state of undefined. Cannot read property set state. What's the problem?